I absolutely think it's no surprise that when you talk about the top 5 wide receivers in the entirety of the NFL, Justin Jefferson will definitely be somewhere on that list. And with the Arizona Cardinals wide receiving depth as thin as it is, there's a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans out there saying, should the Arizona Cardinals trade for superstar wide receiver Justin Jefferson? There sure is one big sports media outlet that feels like the Arizona Cardinals should swing for the fences. Let's dive into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We cover everything Arizona Cardinals here, speculations, rumors, news and reports, all that different stuff. So if you do not want to miss any piece of information, definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Alright, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about, can the Arizona Cardinals potentially go after Justin Jefferson, or should they go after superstar wide receiver Justin Jefferson? So let's dive into it. Let's first talk about how did we get to where we are now talking about should the Cardinals swing for the fences here, right? Let's first start off there. Now, Justin Jefferson, obviously one of the best wide receivers in the entirety of the NFL, still 24 years old, but when the 2024 season will start, he will be turning 25, and it's definitely no surprise that this first round talent is as good as it gets when it comes down to very young wide receivers. He is currently still on his rookie deal and is heading into his 5th year of his rookie deal. And of course, there's a lot of speculations out there saying that the Minnesota Vikings most likely are working on a deal with him. There seems to be a little bit of a hesitancy with the idea of Justin Jefferson signing with the Minnesota Vikings because of the idea of their quarterback situation. If you guys do not know, Kirk Cousins, the former quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, has now found himself with the Atlanta Falcons, and it kind of leaves the Minnesota Vikings kind of scrambling around to find who their quarterback is going to be heading into 2024. The Minnesota Vikings did go after a quarterback, a veteran quarterback in Sam Darnold, a former first-round pick, but I don't believe that is going to be something that Justin Jefferson is going to be fully on board with. Now, if there is some sort of play for the Minnesota Vikings to trade up somewhere in the top 3 or the top 4 to potentially go after a young quarterback, then maybe they can convince superstar wide receiver Justin Jefferson to sign that multi-year deal that I'm assuming the Minnesota Vikings fans and the organization wants him to sign. With everything that's happened in free agency, there's a lot of speculations out there amongst the fan base as well as fans of the NFL saying that Justin Jefferson probably isn't going to be happy with a Sam Darnold throwing the ball to him, so he might have an opportunity to move on from the Vikings, and maybe a team like the Arizona Cardinals or another team could potentially go after a Justin Jefferson. Now, let's first dive into this here real quick, because Justin Jefferson, like we said earlier, is as good as it gets when it comes down to a young wide receiver that you want to go ahead and lock up. Now, as of right now, he is heading into his 5th year of being in the NFL, but his stats are absolutely bonkers, and it's crazy to see the type of production that this young wide receiver has already had and how much success he's had with the Minnesota Vikings. As of right now, he's got 392 receptions, 5,899 receiving yards, and a total of 30 touchdowns. That's absolutely amazing numbers when it comes down to a very young wide receiver that was taken, I believe, 22nd overall to the Minnesota Vikings, and he just overall exceeded expectations. Let's talk about, can the Cardinals potentially go after a Justin Jefferson, or should they, right? As of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have about $29.9 million left in cap. Now, we do technically have the perfect amount of cap space pertaining to paying a top wide receiver. But here's the downfall that a lot of people aren't really thinking about, right? We do still have to allocate some money to save money for our draft picks. As of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have a total of 11 picks in the 2024 NFL draft, and we got to allocate some money to pay those rookies. And on top of that, we do have to have some sort of contingency plan just in case some injuries happen and the Arizona Cardinals need to bring in some depth, because we all know the world of the NFL, there's injuries every single week, so we need to have some sort of contingency plan with that. So right now, with where the cap is for the Arizona Cardinals, can they technically afford a Justin Jefferson? Yes, they can, right? We have seen general managers do some crazy things with contracts where maybe they're not getting charged too much towards the cap in the first year, and then later on they start kind of getting paid a lot more. Just kind of like how Kyler Murray's contract was set up, where we had about 2 or 3 years of the first part of the extension of really good for the Arizona Cardinals in terms of trying to build the team around them, and then in the later parts of the years, that's when the cap hit really takes a hit for the Arizona Cardinals. So the Cardinals could do something like that as well. But here's the kind of downfall to this situation, or this is kind of how my mind process is. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals should or would do a move like this for, I guess, a couple different reasons, right? Now, I understand that if the Cardinals did take this swing, our offense would automatically jump to probably one of the best offenses in the entirety of the NFL. That's definitely a no-brainer. But here's the problem when it comes down to Justin Jefferson, right? Yes, he's still young. Yes, he's got all the production in the world. But this is the part that scares me. We do not really truly know what the Minnesota Vikings actually wants to get a trade done with a young, talented superstar wide receiver like Justin Jefferson, right? We heard some things out there saying that they could potentially want 2 first-round picks, 3 first-round picks. We've heard a lot of crazy things out there, right? Now, as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have the 4th overall spot in the NFL draft, which belongs to them, and they also have the 27th overall spot in the first round. So technically, we do have 2 first-round picks into the first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Now, the unknown of what the Minnesota Vikings might want in terms of draft capital really worries me. And on top of that, if we did retain a Justin Jefferson, then the Cardinals will have to absolutely pay him a lot of money. I believe right now the highest paid wide receiver is Tyreek Hill. I believe he's getting paid somewhere about $29 to $30 million per year. So yes, it is going to be a lot of money. Now, for me as an Arizona Cardinal fan, I would not, and let me repeat, I would not give up that 4th overall spot in terms of what we have. If we're looking at the 27th overall spot, the draft pick from the Houston Texans, then we might be able to talk. But that 4th overall spot gives us a lot of luxury in terms of we could possibly trade back, we can get another need. We just have a lot of things coming in our favor to keep that 4th overall spot. Now, like I said before, it's just going to depend on what the Minnesota Vikings want. If they want that 4th overall spot, I just don't see a way where I can convince myself that this is going to be a really good move, because A, we get rid of our 4th overall, and on top of that, we're going to have to pay this wide receiver that didn't play all 17 games last year. Although he is still young, he did miss a lot of games in the 2023 NFL season because of an injury. Let me be very clear, there's a lot of benefits to having a rookie deal, especially if we get a Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 4th overall spot and paying him such a small amount of money compared to what these top wide receivers are getting paid right now in this market. I would be on the boat of the Arizona Cardinals keeping that 4th overall spot and just taking a swing at Marvin Harrison Jr. and continue to build this roster up through the draft, just like Monty Ossenfort said. But I'm not going to lie to you, the thought of Justin Jefferson being in an Arizona Cardinal uniform really does get me hyped up. And I'm not going to lie, it will sell a lot of tickets. It will get Arizona Cardinal fans in the seat at State Farm Stadium. So like I said, I'm not gonna lie, if this does happen, I will be all up and board with it. And of course, I will dissect exactly what we ended up giving up. But as of right now, I do not see the Arizona Cardinals making a move to go after a Justin Jefferson just because of where we are at right now in our rebuild. Now, let me be very clear. I did not expect the Arizona Cardinals to go after DeAndre Hopkins, years back. So I could be absolutely wrong in this take, but I'm going to stick to my guns in this one. And I just do not see a world where the Arizona Cardinals go after a Justin Jefferson, because there's just kind of a lot of things going against the Arizona Cardinals in terms of giving up draft capital, and on top of that, paying the guy a lot of money. Let's go ahead and ask you guys out there, ladies and gentlemen, what do you want the Arizona Cardinals to do? Would you give up that 4th overall spot for superstar wide receiver Justin Jefferson? Would you not give up that 4th overall? Would you give up the 27th? What are your thoughts here in the comments below? Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.